So there was this one time I started a live show, introduced the guest, talked about what we were going to do that night, and then we weren't live. And that was this show right now. But it was a great practice. I got an awesome rehearsal, so I know exactly what to do. Tonight, Toy Domination, I'm joined by special guest, Brick Soemthing.
Hey.
Who's actually live now.
Hey, how's it going? I'm going to do the air horn because that was fun.
And then Oz, who is way more aware of what is going on than I am, clearly. So from Ozerdamus Toys. So I loved Oz's subtle, like, he just kept going. He didn't, he like private chatted me. He was like, no, so we're not live right now. I was like, what are you talking about? Yes, we are. We're doing this. He's like, nope, this is just all us doing this internal. I was like, huh?
Well, congratulations. You caught it in about 3 minutes. I once went about 17 minutes into a stream before catching it. So,
and then we also have Joe, who's late
showing
up. This has been a good this has been a great start to an episode here. So
he's been here the whole time. What you
I've been here the whole time.
I am like endlessly embarrassed that I like was introducing you guys to absolutely no one. That was awesome. Oz. Like, that is great. Like, you're like, hey. We're not That's good.
Picked up on a couple things,
Like, actually go live when you're going live.
Like,
so
actually go live when you're going live. So
hey,
watch out.
Watch out, everybody.
What's going on? I suspect.
There we go.
You suspected? Yeah.
Like, when I saw him at first, I was like, do I keep talking? Because is this a video? I was like, oh, no, wait. I remember that one time. Yeah.
Yeah, you clever. You clever.
Was it the other way around, though? You were at his house?
No. He was off in a guest room somewhere, and then we pulled him out.
That's what it was.
So, yeah. So awesome. All right. Well, today we're going to talk about normal people finding our collections and some funny stories or encounters that we've had in our past. But before we get to that topic, we're going to do some news, and after that, we're going to do some pickups. But I think Joe, we should talk about the chat here. Should say hey to the people in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Mr. Wonderful. Oh, I'll check back soon. I hope now is that soon where you're checking back.
Right.
Wrong, Bjorn. Wrong. It's Schmebulok, and that's it. I need you to come back in and do your trademark Schmebulok. All right. This is Beta Bob. What's up, Bob? Thanks for supporting. Time to crack on normies. No, we're not cracking on normies. This is us just talking about them. So much hate coming from there. My buddy's Customs. What's going on? We got Nebulous Nexus. Thanks for joining us. Howdy, normies. Action Figures. Fat Red Foo. Jeff Morris. Ryan Sweeney. Shane Bralla. Famine, who's been a member now for 5 months. Thanks so much for being. I apply. Appy, the way you caught the mistake. Excellent insight. Lord of Thang. Oh man, what time is it for you right now, Lord of Thang? And hold on, Outer Multiverse. I'm gonna keep going here. Gonna keep going.
Why not?
Making Hicks 6. And oh man, every Cobalt Constructs. Oh man, what a really cool thumb tag. And Joseph Adams. Thanks, guys. All right, we're gonna stop there because this chat is still going on. Hey, so when we actually get to the panel, for those of you in the chat, you guys are going to have to give us your stories, too, of funny encounters with normies finding your collections. But before we kick off news, Brick, you got anything you want to talk about? You got anything you want to plug or shout or anything?
To plug in the future?
Yeah.
Or pickups?
Anything you want to talk about? Your channel,
Oh, so tonight I'm going to be over on Toy Domination. And,
oh, nice.
And we might do it a couple of different times.
Only if he hits live, though. I had everything. I was doing the things and the chats. And... No, please. Like, continue. Right.
Yeah. Just real quick. I did do this whole thing where we were building Lego and me and the guests were talking for the longest time. And it took us a while to realize. So you caught it pretty quickly. So congrats. Every Sunday I do this thing over on Brick Soemthing called the Brick Soemthing News, where I kind of just talk about things that myself and a co-host want to talk about. And this one time Dom came through and we talked for a little bit. Yeah. And I showed him some bugs and I realized that Dom doesn't like bugs. But that's the main thing. And then Masters of the Universe Revolution just came out last night, midnight
so
my
it did
time.
come out.
Yeah, Joe and I
we
were wondering when
was
that
it today?
dropped. Yeah.
It was last night. I was up till really late and then finished this morning. And I'm not going to
Wow.
say anything else. But tomorrow night over on the GTFO channel, Geek the F Out, I'll be talking about it. And we've got a couple of.
How many
man.
episodes is it, Brick?
It's 5 episodes. And so
okay.
on GTFO, we're going to talk about it tonight, next Tuesday. So, tomorrow will be like part 1 and 2. Tuesday will be 3 and 4. And then I don't think I'm at liberty to say the guests, but there are going to be some pretty big guests. Some of them involved in the show, some of them involved in the toy lines next Friday. So that's going to be super fun.
That's awesome, man. That's really exciting.
I'm a top secret guest for tomorrow night, by the way. I'm just terrible at secrets.
Oz, what you got, man?
Well, just like Brick was saying, tomorrow night I'm going to be hanging out on GTFO, and we're going to be talking about, of course, the wonderful revolution that's happening right now. Then I'll be talking about it. See, this Thursday night we're not doing a toy frenzy, but Saturday morning we're going to wake up, and if you guys follow him, Toon Yuka over on IG, who's been a writer and artist with Dark Horse Comics. We're going to be talking with him about Revolution for a special AM Toy Frenzy Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And then, of course, every Saturday night, if you are into like 8-hour-long live streams or wonder how we can do that,
8+.
we'll be 8+ because we've gone up to 9.5 hours. But yeah, well, Saturday night, everybody hangs out at the clubhouse starting like 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, all the way until 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, whenever.
I don't know how you do that. After 2 hours, I'm like ready to quit. And then I once did 3 hours. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm like mentally smoked. I don't know how you do that. That's impressive.
To be fair, you're high energy, Dom.
You are. I'm like a very slow
I burn bright. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay.
Right?
There you go.
I'm very slow burn.
A little bit of time.
And I also have like, because it's the clubhouse, right? So there's always like 10 of us on screen at a time. So whenever I'm just like, I'm going to go wander off for a little while and do stuff, and everybody else
tag team it then. Yeah, okay.
That's right.
Nice.
Makes it a lot easier.
Should we talk news?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. You do the button thingies.
All right, it's news time.
I can't be.
Oh,
wait, do I need a hat?
I have my normal hat.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know where it was.
part of me thought I'm going to go run and get my hat, but I would have been
supposed to wear a hat for the news. It's supposed to be an old-timey news hat.
I went to reach for it, and there's a body in my way. I'm like, oh no, I didn't plan for this.
Normal old-timey news hat.
I got my hat.
All right, we're going to start with some news that is exciting to 3 of the 4 people that are currently on this show, and hopefully you guys are excited about it regardless of what scale or what you're into. It is the Poxus Wave. This is really cool. Oz, talk about this wave really quick, and then.
Oh my god! So first off, anybody who is into Mythic Legions, they're incredible for the high fantasy that they go through. But this wave, we're having magic. Like you've got wizards, you've got giant dragon looking dudes who happens to be blue, and I always wonder if that's a call out for Akira Toriyama's Blue Dragon, but regardless of that, and then you've got the horsemen of pestilence, right? Like the rotting decay here that you can see, giant green demons, magic users galore. What's not to love about this? And the bright colors, right?
Yeah, it's a really good
they're
wave.
A little more muted, and this one's very bright and it pops.
Yeah, the bright colors on some of those characters, like the wizards characters, they look awesome.
Brick, are you on this one?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I am super excited. This has been like years in the sort of waiting, and actually most of mine, all of mine, and for this one are actually coming from retailers. So it's going to be a wait. I was still sort of figuring out the whole like shipping to the West Coast thing, which is a better deal. But Yeah, man, I'm super excited. You named the colors. Like I feel like this wave is kind of a watershed moment, if is that the right term? Whatever.
Really?
It's a big f***ing deal. So
Okay.
I said flipping. It like one, we're getting the colors. Two, we're getting like characters, new species, right? In this one. We're getting characters that are like starting to expand into sort of different cultural influences in the real world, like with the djinn and some of the wizards.
Yes,
that like,
I like the djinn. Yes.
Yeah, it's like we're doing that whole
Yeah.
thing.
The djinn are awesome.
Yeah.
Our first true brute scale figures, 2 of them, technically they should have come before the Cosmic Legions one that we got. So like if we remember kind of the way these were released, this wave was kind of a big deal.
Wait, I thought this was so is the dragon brute scale or is it ogre scale?
No, it's the yeah, he's ogre scale.
Yeah.
The djinn is the brute scale.
Oh, he's
and
brute scale.
should you bring it up again if you bring the image?
Yeah, because he's larger.
Or
The guy underneath the djinn.
No
Yeah.
way. I thought those were regular. Oh, that's a huge surprise for me.
Yeah.
I got all in.
Oh,
I'm an
The
idiot.
bummer, the little bit of a bummer is that those aren't quite, they're on the water too. So the others are going to come first and ship first.
Oh,
so
yeah,
there's
yeah,
be a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit more of a weight for the brute scale. Like we got
Right.
half a brute scale in the centaur, right?
Yep.
And then more recently in Cosmic, we got the dude plagued with some QC issues. I forget his name, with the leg popping off.
Oh,
Bounty hunter guy.
no, not Sloth.
Anyways, it's a name that it like is kind of hard to remember, but
They're all
of them.
Yeah,
aren't they?
Yeah, but I'm excited. And then the colors, you all said the colors already, like, and we're getting closer. 3 of 4 horsemen.
Yes, I know,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
I like this with all the magic accessories they packed in. I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool. That's something new to it. We saw cloth goods in the last wave, kind of, but this one really seemed to just be like all cloth, like everything all over the place.
Yeah, they're all wearing robes.
Magic users, like
Mhm.
it's so good.
Yeah, on the soft goods. Thanks for bringing that. I forgot, but like this would have been, I believe, our first Mythic Legions, like where we should have gotten those new CGSM, that made by the CGSM folks, CJ up and Keithlin up in Canada. Like although they're the ones who are doing all those soft goods now.
Oh,
This
the,
was like technically the first one that they worked on, so you can see all the work in the robes, and then it just kind of, I believe it just worked out that what was it? There was some, I'm forgetting now which Cosmic Legions, Zirian Spire, and them kind of jumped the line basically. So
Yeah.
this could have been like a big deal for the for Mythic Legions in that. Like if they had come in the proper order, we would have been like, oh my god, what's all this new stuff?
right.
It's all cool.
Yeah,
Good thing those await.
got a little
can't-
spoiled for us. But
I can't remember any of their names, so no, I
No,
totally.
no.
I like you said this guy's name. Like I don't know, man. It's
That's
Blue
that's the
Wizard.
Blue
yeah,
Wizard.
yeah,
though.
big
Yeah.
dragon.
exactly,
Like I don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
I only got a
guy.
few of this wave. I think it just hit at a time. Maybe I just paid for the his tank or something. I don't
Sure,
remember. I feel like it was
yeah.
like around that time, a couple
it's
years ago.
been a
but-
while.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But I only got
yeah.
a few in on this, but I might get some at the Big Bed Toy Store prices.
I think so. Yeah.
you
So
know,
like,
Well-
these-
for 'em.
oh, go ahead. Go on.
I was gonna say, which coast are you on? Because I just found a retailer, if you're West Coast, that might be able to shave you.
Oh,
on.
East.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
They're
with
all
me.
over
Yeah.
there. You're all
I mean,
over
I've got
there. I'm
friends
way
on the
over
West
here.
Coast. I can
I have
figure
a
it out.
lot of friends on the West Coast.
The Wizards make it look great. So the Wizards is what tipped me over those scales for this one. Like I was
Yeah.
more excited about Wizards. The
Yes.
first Kickstarter was all heavy armor knights, and like since then they've been slowly sleeking them down and making them like
Yeah, like leather boots.
yes,
and
I
stuff
want
like
more
that, yeah.
rogues and soft guys and leather stuff, and like that's like I've
Right.
got the knights, but like that's not the preponderance of fantasy. Usually fantasy is less armor, so the fact they're leaning more and more that way is just great. So I went all in this one. This hit me at a weird time too, otherwise I would have gotten extras, but I went all in this one. The last one that just came out, I went a little crazy on that one. I got like 4 bears. Like
Oh.
Oh,
bears!
yes.
I got
Dom
to-
now has bear cavalry. For
That's what I
skins.
wanted. Yes, I wanted a cavalry of bears. Like not one bear, a legion.
I'm
of
all
bears.
for
Where
that.
did I put all those
All
bears?
for that.
That was my whole thing for a while. Like, you know, with everybody's
The
like,
bears
so
hanging from the ceiling. Don't worry about it.
Flying
yeah, but
bears.
convince me why I don't need multiple bears, but I did end up
I know,
chickening out.
I only got one bear.
That's funny.
I got one bear to start.
Well, now you've
The
got
second
the
one.
bears.
Start. And I quickly
Whole
added
year.
3. And I'm at 4.
For those of you, yeah, the bottom right looks in gray random diorama. Yeah. For those of you who are into
Sounds like
Mythic
a
Legions or
nightmare.
Cosmic Legions, like it's pretty intimidating to try and jump in and to play catch up. This is not a line
Don't.
you want to be like, oh, I'll just build it back up. Like, just only go forward with this. But I will say, I think that they're getting more cost effective. Like they seem to be holding their price more. Like they don't skyrocket. They kind
Yeah,
of
it's
stay
not
on
as
the
bad.
same. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think it's a good time for new collectors to jump into because they're going to stay $10
It
more,
is.
20. You know what I mean? So
I'm crossing my fingers because I hope that stays. But it's funny. I remember when I started collecting these, people were like, "Wait, what are you paying for these?"
right.
And since then, a lot
Right.
of these other toy lines have crept up to it, and
Oh,
it's
right.
kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Now
Mhm.
it's.
And you're
I
like, yeah,
feel even
37
more
for a Mythic
justified.
Legion doesn't seem all that high. As long
Right?
as you're willing to
No.
pay that money up front when the wave comes out,
That's it.
Yeah.
And then
Like,
wait 2
that's-
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then wait forever, it's a reasonable price. If you're waiting for Big Bad or those other retailers to pick them up,
2
$50
years is not usual.
still not that bad.
See,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Here it is though. Like once, since I am newer to it, just within the last year, I will say, like, I've noticed here that once you start getting rolling and the waves start kind of coming in, and it
Mhm.
especially seems like over the last year, it's just going to be a constant flow after this, right? Like
If-
you wait for
If
that
you're
initial
invested in it,
jump.
yeah.
You wait for that initial jump in, but then after that, you're looking at their release dates and you're like, oh man, that's coming out. That's coming out. That's
Yeah,
coming
these
out.
waves have been coming on top of each other pretty quick. Too fast, honestly. I've got other pre-orders to pay for.
And the quality is such a trip with these toys. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like one thing I
It
see the
is.
pictures and then I get them in hand and I'm like,
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll show later when we talk about recent pickups. But I just
I
opened
didn't
one
get that one.
recently and I was just like, oh my god, it's like I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be cool. I've seen pictures, but it's like I'm reminded, no, stop thinking that way. Every single time you're gonna be like, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah,
that-
yeah, it's pretty
that's been
fun.
where I'm
Yeah,
at.
but that's great. That's great to have a toy company. You really
Yep.
have it. So we should probably move from Mythic Legions, but I definitely think when Poxus comes in, we should probably talk again. Like once we have those.
for
in
sure.
hand.
Oh yes.
Joe, what else we got cooking?
Well,
in
I
news?
got Skywarp from Transformers MDLX, and only because I've been getting these, and he looks really cool. However, I didn't get Starscream, and I don't think I'm going to get
Really?
a Skywarp.
That's weird. You didn't get Starscream, huh?
I mean, the price hike went up so high between those figures.
Yeah.
Like Optimus was 80, Starscream was 120.
Ooh,
Like it was a big,
That's
and he's
that's
significantly
wow.
bigger, and he has the wings, and there's a lot more there.
Those are gorgeous
Yeah.
figures, though.
Yeah, I know, but they're awesome. But
Is
I don't know
Skywarp
if I'm
kind
gonna- I'm
of
gonna-
relatively
I've been
the
cherry
same
picking
size?
already. But
Mhm.
sorry, Brick, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just wondering, is Skywarp relatively the same size as Starscream? I
He's like a
assume?
repaint of Starscream.
Should
Okay.
be. Yeah. Just
Oh,
like a
size-wise,
straight up
height?
repaint.
No. So now price-wise, is he the same as Starscream was?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So
Oh.
he's 119.
Oops.
Okay,
Yeah,
got
My
it.
favorite sneaker. Yeah, 'cause
Well,
he's dark
Skywarp's
purple.
got the better color scheme.
I was
color
just
scheme
saying
anyway.
purple. Yeah.
And I think it's
Yeah.
Thundercracker in the blue back there.
Yes.
Yes,
I think
that's Thundercracker.
they're all
Yeah.
exchanged.
They're all the same.
All the
Bjorn
stickers.
has found these small minis of. I meant to send them to you to show tonight. They're really cool. They're these little. They're like kind of. They're not too cutesy, but they're like squattish Transformer guys. You put them together like a model kit. They're like in a little blind
okay.
box. They're super fun. Like they look really cool. So, Bjorn, you sent me those pictures. I meant to show them tonight. I completely forgot.
I
Give
enjoy
my
non-transform-
ignorance, but do those MDLX transform or not? Are
No.
those they're not.
They're
Got
just ridiculously high articulation, well
it.
painted
yeah.
pieces of, you know.
Like
I
that
got
recent
the,
model kit that Brick
Megatron.
got.
Yeah.
Oh, the Megatron Yolo Park one that doesn't transform.
Oh,
but
yeah.
highly posable. And I was just like, I was totally
love
floored.
that
That
Megatron.
made it to my best of thing. I got it totally in the last month of the year for 2023, and that thing.
I've heard it's really,
wild.
really cool.
Yeah.
Bob says Skywarp joined the GI Joe team. I have not kept up on any of that.
I was just
multiverse
about to
stuff.
dive back into this.
Really?
Comics.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
because there's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Oh, look at that
I'm gonna
guy.
have to check.
Yeah, so this is technically a model kit, but it's really a Build-A-Figure. You just
Oh,
have
I've
to-
seen that.
Yeah, it's a model kit.
yeah.
See, like, because you have to take pieces off. Like, I don't
Right.
know. It's silly.
Like one
It's like-
piece.
I don't even remember. It's like you.
Yeah,
put-
like 3.
you know what it is? It's a Build-A-Figure.
Yeah,
There you
And,
go. Yeah.
and they're like, no, it's a model kit, so therefore it's okay for us to have
That's
the
awesome.
license.
That's a
Oh,
good
look,
height,
see, like you
too.
take that off.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
That
The-
sounded like it broke, actually.
Oh no. There's a little.
No, I know that
thing.
snap. I was like,
Yeah.
Also, we do what you got at the end of the show, Bricks.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Oh, this is not what I got. This is I got a
Oh,
while.
okay.
I'm
All
just
right.
saying,
Well, yeah,
this
yeah.
is
No,
we're
it's all-
talking.
That's awesome.
Anyway, I'm
I've
curious
never
about those
seen those
MDLX.
up close. I think the Foosh was showing it or whatever, and we're talking
Yeah.
Spain. I was like, that's neat, but that's cool, man.
So I really like this line. They're really awesome toys, but the price alterations I guess they've had since it first came out is like Bumblebee was $60, and I was like, he's really tiny. He's like 4.5 inches. But
Oh, 4.5 inches for $60.
yeah, really. Well,
But in scale.
yes.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah, it makes
but
sense. if it's
but
in-
Optimus was like 80, and he's 8 inches or something like that kind of thing. But what's the red one that's like a repaint of Bumblebee?
Cliff Jumper.
Cliff Jumper.
How
Yeah.
did I know that? I'm not a
Cliff
transfer.
Jumper
is
is
bizarre.
was
Case-
he
case
came out later, and he was like 80, and I was like, I'm not paying
Case.
$80 for that. It's insane.
Hey, it's Adam.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
A lot of
You know,
a lot of
Adam,
price
I was
tag.
waiting to I was waiting to jump in with that joke too. Bumblebee's 4 inches. It's a good size, right?
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
4 inches is fine.
I don't get it.
On that note, I don't get it.
I'll tell you later, Brick. We don't want you to
Okay,
cry
thanks.
on stream.
Yeah, cool.
And then
Cool.
we also got, so we're kind of all over the place with the topics for the news tonight. What else you got?
Yeah.
there?
Well, the only thing this interests some classified fans is because the His tank just came out, and the Vanguard vehicle
this is
just went
cool.
up for pre-order.
I think it's awesome. I'm not even a big classified guy. I think this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's reasonably. It's 184, I think.
Yeah.
So it's reasonably
Pre-ordered right
priced.
now. I'm Big Bad, right?
Yeah.
And neither of you are classified or Valorverse fans, right? Brick Oz.
I've got a handful of classes, like a
Yeah,
tiny
yeah.
handful.
I mean, it looks
I've got,
awesome. I still don't know if I'm gonna get one.
I've got Fiona and her really cool Crocmaster accessory pack. I've
Right.
got Spirit, or
Crackmaster
I've got
accessory. It's good.
Freedom with the Spirit accessory pack and the Timber with the Snake Eyes accessory pack. But I don't get into the
Mhm.
overall line much though.
Hey, what's up, White Vegeta? What's going on, man? He's the guy who gave us those cool things at Joe Fest. The vials,
awesome.
the level
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Uh,
Definitely
Oz,
intrigued
really
by
want-
that.
Do you have
By that
a
vehicle.
mutt and junkyard yet?
Not yet.
Oh,
Not
okay.
yet.
They're
Oh,
really
man.
cool.
saw a ton
I'm
of Target.
definitely excited for that, especially since the Mutt accessory set comes with all those hand signals too.
Yeah, the
like
hand
an
signals
alternate
are cool.
hand. Like there's more purpose to the extra hands in that, in my opinion, with this one. It's great.
Take this banner off.
You want to talk to that one? You want to comment?
I really want to get the Vanguard, but I don't know because it is a high price. Yeah, I agree.
Is that how you imagine that person talking?
I really,
but I don't know because of the high price.
I was doing, I was doing my old Tommy News
That's,
voice.
but I don't know because of the high
What's
price.
the total?
See? 180, 185, something like that.
Yeah, then it's plus shipping to wherever you are. And there's
Oh, that's true.
didn't he announce for the pre-order there's like a driver thrown in, and then the
There is a driver thrown in,
loadout,
yeah.
there's like the alternate loadout is included if you pre-order.
Oh,
But
cool.
then I
Maybe
think-
that's on their site because on Big Bad
Okay.
this missile system is separate.
It's
And
separate.
it's like $50.
Yeah.
I think. It's
Damn,
Right.
Really,
tank,
yeah.
man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
man, like,
are
and then-
any kind of
maybe-
armament
all in, it's the
included?
price of a his tank.
Any type of armaments included?
Or is it
Alrighty.
just like
Just
that, like a
the
car?
top machine gun area and
Oh,
then I
okay.
guess the specs actually.
Oh, wait, here we go. Okay, wait, we got two comments here. Okay,
Okay.
let's see. So I was going to get a few. I'm in the middle of a major pivot to Joy Toy 118th, going to
Pivot.
unload. I am feeling you. Like, I think this year is going to be all Joy Toy and Marauder for me. I was
Wow.
talking to Joe today. Like, I don't know about this collection, dude. Like, really, Were you looking at?
Also, you read that really weird. It's like this. I have the Tan Vanguard on order. If you buy from the Valleyverse Direct, you get the missile launcher included.
You get the
See,
missile
there
launcher
you
included
go.
for free, yeah.
I was gonna say I thought I'd heard that somewhere, but yeah, it gets-
185 plus 15. 15's not bad for a big old box there.
That's not bad.
And then
It's a huge vehicle. Though.
that's
like
like
it's
$15. Like I get
No,
that.
no.
Like you got a pre-order direct includes an additional.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And if you're gonna get it, don't. But get on BBTS because you get way more.
You get way
All
more.
right, there you go. All right, I'm not gonna.
That's
get
news.
It, most
That's
likely.
news for the week,
That's
boys.
the news. Rick, take off your hat. It's
Yeah, the news is over.
now my bulb showing and glaring out.
That actually would have been amazing if I took off my.
Like a Lego man. He is Brick Something.
Where's the other one?
He has that weird round peg on the top of his head.
So we're gonna move to the topic of the show, but this world building thing has had me hung up since I first heard someone say like you can't world build in 1/12. I'm not arguing you can't. I think that's worthy of having a discussion though. Like,
Oh, yeah, for
why
sure.
is that right? And I think it's mostly due to space, but that we're gonna pin that for a few months and come back to it. So, okay. So the topic for tonight is because we are all nerds and we don't have a hobby. Most of us don't have the hobby. We have like the Mustang in the garage we're trying to work on. We don't have like what's another cool guy thing that we don't do? What's something men do?
A room filled with a guitar.
Sports ball.
Yeah, guitars. Yeah. So-
I got a guitar.
yeah, sports
right there.
ball. Yeah, I also have guitars too, which is funny. So, but yeah, so like we have different interests, right? So we have all had encounters of normies who don't have this interest, and probably earlier on than nowadays when it's a little more accepted. Probably earlier on of people encountering these collections, and that's kind of what we talk about tonight. Is what have you experienced with normal people or people who aren't into the toy community and encounter your collection? Do you guys have any stories, any amazing encounters? I don't know why I paused there for so long.
You know, I think one of the most memorable ones is when you're chatting somebody up and you tell them you're an adult toy collector, and they go,
yes.
"Ooh, I want to see your adult toys," and then you're like, "Well,
You may want to talk. You may want to hold back that
Yeah.
information.
There's a
I'm not
swing.
going into any more
Like,
detail than that. If you can't pick that up, then just catch you on a Saturday night. We'll pop your cherry."
No.
Vader and Bob, I'm really sorry I forgot about that Zartan.
I saw that too.
It
It looks
looks
really cool. Yeah,
so good.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
the bald
Yeah,
spot
they
is a big
just-
beanie.
It is. It's the peg for my beanie. It holds it in place for me.
Why would it be normal not to be in toy collecting? Okay, so we think it's normal, right? But this
Right.
trend has been taboo in the past, right? Or less like more
Yes.
closet.
Like
Right?
it's-
So from my experience, it's been more closeted in the past than it has been
Yes.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Very
Okay,
different.
so- yeah. So like there's more, I don't know whether it's a boomer influence or whether it's because we grew up with certain expectations, but like we had an episode a long time ago, which I think is worth circling back to about like allowing yourself to be like open about toy collecting
Yeah,
and differences now and then.
Right.
So like that's
I mean,
kind
just
of
the
what we're-
fact that we're talking about this on the internet.
Yeah.
is-
So
is
yeah,
very
yeah,
different.
mind-blowing, right.
Quickly, without the fear of any shame. Yeah.
Right. So on Oz with that toy collection thing, so I've moved constantly. So I'm always uplifting and new audiences, new people, right? Like, so I was in Korea and it's a very small apartment, and I locked what little bit of my toy collection I took with me. I had like a work desk and then like a wall of toys, but I was in the military and I was in command, and like I had to make a lot of like alpha decisions and like, be in charge of all these dudes. It was very competitive. So I locked it from the outside and kept that room sealed off. And we'd entertain people and bring over coworkers, and they literally thought Nicole and I had a sex dungeon. Like, that was what everybody assumed. They were like, man, they are a weird couple. And then finally Nicole's like, you have to show them what's in there. They think we're freaks. I'm like, I'd rather they think we're freaks. She's like, no, I can't take this anymore. So
If I open that door, they'll know I'm the only
I'm
freak.
the only freak. Yeah, you were in this together. So like
You
that
have
was-
to be my beard.
You couldn't
It
have
might
pretended
be
like you
weird.
use it to like plan strategy or something cool.
I kept saying like that's where we dump the Christmas decorations. Like, oh, it's all storage. It's just like we just dump stuff in there.
Yeah.
Like we don't believe you. So it's like
Plan
man.
strategy. You're
Yeah.
moving GI Joes across the board with one of those sticks.
Yeah, totally.
Oh man. Hey,
How's the northern border? I don't know. We have these his tags.
Oh, Punk with Toys. We're trying to get this guy on the show. He
Oh.
acts. He's an actor. He's acts on this stuff. So he jumped.
He's
in
too
last-
cool for
he's a
us.
cool guy. He's a
He's
cool
too
guy.
It's
Brick.
pretty cool.
What do you got? What do you got, man?
So two things. First off, like I'm living in a relatively small house here in the Bay Area, so space is limited. This stuff is here. A lot of my Lego stuff. There's a whole wall right next to me here of these guys, and then it's relative. Like, so I'll have some figures out, but usually my figures will end up. Actually, I'm a teacher in my classroom, so there's a bunch of stuff going on there. So kind of two different spaces here. You know, people, two things. They're kind of like, what's going on? And I will say, you kind of hit the nail on the head that things are different. Star Wars is like not something to hide really anymore. I've found.
Lego also in
Lego
general has a
definitely.
different feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Because there's the puzzle and the building of it, and it's like the architecture of it, and it's there's something else
Absolutely,
there.
Punk. Absolutely.
Lego in particular. So Lego and Star Wars, people are like, I've found that more often than not, I'm kind of excited because like you'll see it on their faces. People will kind of like, oh, somebody else who likes this stuff.
Yeah.
Less so with the action figures. Action figures are still kind of in their own little world, I've found, in a different way. It's less likely that I'll find people who are like, oh, unless it's like a property that they're into. But for this stuff, it's two things. People are like, whoa, what's that? And also kind of the display they're kind of into. So
I'm sorry, Brick. Bob's comment with the Seinfeld episode was like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That made me LOL.
No, so is that.
Yeah, no, what's funny, so in the military too, like we're very closeted with our nerddom, and it's become a little more lenient now that most of my peer groups
Yeah, that's a very different thing for you. Your
It
career
was, yeah, very
like,
much
definitely altered.
It's like, you don't
how
play
you
football, get out of the circle. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah,
dude.
right.
So it's people, but I found it's like 1 in 4 that like Lego. Like, it's really funny. I'm like, we're all in the same boat here, guys. Why aren't we talking about this?
Lego's
You know what I mean?
the
Right.
same.
Well, Lego's what?
Lego's the same.
Well,
as
like,
all
well,
this.
it's engineering
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. But I'm like, hey, yeah. So,
Well, that's how it became more like socially acceptable, I will say, like to do the adult Legos.
Oh yeah,
you
it
know,
really
it was one of
did
those
start
things.
to like market to very different niches.
Absolutely.
Of,
Right,
I would
that
say
definitely
like,
shifted the ideology of like what that meant
Right,
to be.
by the way, a normie asked me, I went to go to his promotion. He's got 4 boys, and he was like, hey, how do I display my Legos? I'm like, go check out Brick Soemthing. He has an awesome background behind him where he puts his starships up there. I was like, just go look at any of his shows. It's always behind him. So I totally was like, go check out this channel. So I totally plugged in how you display your ships, by the way. I think it's pretty
Right
unique.
on.
So, sorry to
Knolling.
interrupt.
I don't know if folks are familiar with the term knolling, but yeah, that's a
No,
thing.
I don't know what that is.
KNOL. It's like when you take objects and you spell them out. People like designers have been doing it for a while. And I was like, yeah. What I love
I would do
about
that,
Star
but with
Wars
ships
ships.
of Lego.
Yeah.
Like, is
He's
there
doing
any-
that intentionally, by the way.
Mhm.
He added the S because that's technically inappropriate.
Yes.
Lego.
Yeah.
That's Adam. That's Adam doing his thing.
Hey, what's up, Kiwi
yeah.
Joe Custom Collections? What's up, man? Joe, did you have a funny or a counter
right,
that sticks
so-
out in your mind? I've got several, so
Yeah,
we're
I've
not
got a
done
bunch.
here. Yeah. Also for the chat, while Joe's telling his story, drop yours in the comments, and we'll get yours as soon as Joe's done with his anecdote.
All right, so my daughter's been playing with some other children around the neighborhood, and we've become friends with them. And the 3 dads have been into my art studio / toy room, separately but individually, but like kind of, and they all kind of like spread this range of reactions. Like one's a little more nerdy, and he's reads sci-fi and fantasy, and he's like, "Oh, this is cool. It's a lot, but it's cool," you know, kind of thing. Like, you know. And then
It's a lot,
just,
but
you
it's
get
cool.
the other one that's on the. It's a lot.
That caveat,
It's-
hanging
it's-
caveat.
It's awesome. No, I mean, I went over to his house and he was like, "Look at this nerdy thing I have. Look at this nerdy thing I have from Hogwarts. Like, look at this, you know." And I'm just like, okay, he's really trying here. He's trying to keep, he's trying to keep up.
All right.
So that was one. He's the one that's like the closest to who we are, I would say. He's very
Right.
into like Game of Thrones and Harry Potter and
thanks,
like all
buddy.
the sci-fi
Thanks, buddy.
fantasies.
Keep going.
So the middle one had an interesting reaction. It was one of those like, you could see he had like a spark of like, I would love to do this, but I don't know why or how or what I even have an attachment to anymore, kind of thing. Like he lost this part of him a long time ago, and it just kind of like rekindled something in him where he's like, this is interesting, and he was just kept like picking random ones up and being like, this is kind of cool, and looking at it. And then there's just the guy on the other end of the spectrum that's like, okay, what do we
Coming
have
and hit
here?
you with the ogre nerd.
No, not that bad, but I mean, but still a friend of mine. But at the same time, he was one of those things where you're just like, he's like, okay, I have very little to talk to you about in this room, and there's a lot to talk about in here.
You basically were just like wearing a gesture hat and dancing around half naked in front of him. He's like, okay,
He's like, all right, we go back downstairs with the beers. Yeah, but it was pretty funny. One of my friends that I knew him before Dominic. We played Ninja Turtles and X-Men figures on the floor when we were kids and stuff. We lost touch over the years, but randomly recently he moved back into the area, and he has a daughter around the same age as Violet as well. But like, he came over and he's just like, "Oh my gosh, you never lost it. This is fantastic," And that was like one of the best reactions I've had. Like just a like refreshing, like, "Oh man, I want so much of this stuff. I need to start spending my money on this." I'm like, "You can. You're an adult. You can do it right now."
Do you have something? You wanted to? Oh yeah, I saw you. I thought one of you were trying.
Oh no, sorry. I was just typing. I was
Okay,
answering to some stuff, but I do have other classroom stories if you want
Yes.
to hear.
Yeah.
Oh no, we have plenty of time for
let's see
stories.
I had a girlfriend once who's not really enthused at toy. So when I was dating Nicole, I'm sorry I dated before you, but when I was dating, I had a girl walk into my apartment, and this is when I was single, so I only had a couple things in like display and like shadow boxes or whatever like that, like very, very like it's here. If you notice it, we can talk about it. But she was like, she kind of was like half joking, like, well, why go out? We can just stay here and play with action figures. I'm like, we could, but I really want to see the movie. And I delivered it so flat like that. She didn't know what to do. And she walked up. We walked up, and she never brought it up again. But I was like, I always purposely planted it there. So if somebody wanted to talk about it, it was, it's out. But if you don't notice that, we're just going to move on. So
was she being serious? Was she being sarcastic?
She was being sarcastic, but like jokingly broaching the subject. But I just flatline delivered so much that I was like, maybe I was too cold there. I should have been like more friendly about it. I don't know. So,
but then how much is too much? The overly excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you really mean it? Can we?
I let that. Yeah.
She's drugging you with turkey and wine.
A lot of people.
Next date's at your house. I roasted a turkey.
Are the guy from Toy Story 2. I think that's going away, but you're right. There's still that 40-year-old version Toy Story 2 stigma that's out there.
Fat comic guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah. Oh, you got a question for you, Brick? Or did you already answer this? How do you get those Lego starships on the wall?
I put it in the chat.
Okay. You put it in the chat.
The simple answer is they're guitar hooks, by the way. For the most
smart.
I was going to say, Brick, I do get Lego every once in a while, and a lot of them are Star Wars. I used to have a decent amount of them on my shelves behind my computer screen, but they were up further. But I used to use those clear frame holders, like something, or a plate. Like you would put a plate on it.
That's smart.
I would use that to put like the X-wing on or something like that, kind of like a clear.
But
that was on a shelf.
Crimson TIE Interceptor, so
it's awesome,
right?
And it's like they're super light, but I'm actually, you mentioned the car in the garage as a hobby. I'm literally in my garage. It's converted, and we put this wall up, so I know exactly where things are.
Oh, okay.
Kind of planned it that way so that but you don't need to go into wood just as long as you've got hangers and stuff. These things,
right.
It's Lego.
That's cool.
Yeah,
and I'm in earthquake country, so.
My stepdaughter's boyfriend thinks I have a collection and he's 26. Yeah, exactly. So like the younger age,
it's a lot different now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I mean,
I mentioned that my stuff is in the classroom.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're talking high schoolers, right?
Yeah.
Right. Hey, what's up, Allison?
I might have one or two a year who even notice it. Like they see it.
Yeah, I think it's more normalized now.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's both normalized, and I think they're also in this age of like, occasionally get someone talking and they'll like, oh yeah, that's cool, I like that movie, but like there's very much this like, no, I'm too cool to acknowledge the world. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. In general, regardless of whatever it is.
It's the kiddie stuff. But then like, I have like a Thor's hammer that we use as like a talking piece, and like oh, what is this? This is dumb. And then inevitably we start
You're
talking,
like,
and
no,
they're,
it's
you know,
cool.
they're standing there posing.
When you hold it
playing,
and you're talking, you're happy.
That's
You're
just
rolling.
teenagers, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's like
Yeah,
that just
seems like-
That's actually
awesome.
why I
Any-
do bring my toys there, aside from not
That's
having space and hiding
icebreaker.
them
You use
from
it
the
as an
wife.
icebreaker. It's a comfort spot. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
Hyperdelic. What's going on, buddy? Here we go. I brought it. You want to read this one? You read this one.
Sure.
I'm not the only one who can read. On your screen.
Well, my camera's not
You got
facing it. I brought a date to my toy room long before I met my wife. She took one look and said, "This is a lot." So, not many like me have been there. What? Oh, all right. So, not
Yeah.
many like me have been there. I mean,
Yeah,
her.
that's good. Yeah.
Right.
That's
Right.
good, right? Yeah. All right. Well, needless to say, you didn't stay together. Well, he's obviously didn't marry her, so yeah, I would say that. So, hey, Skybottom, what's up, buddy? I haven't talked to you in freaking forever, man. How's it going? Yeah.
Hello.
Go check out that guy's channel if you're not already. All right. Anybody else have any funny stories?
Not so much funny. Well, my mother-in-law, love
Mhm.
her, but she's a very religious
But-
person. Well, she's very religious, very conservative.
Okay.
So Mythic Legions has some
Don't marry him.
creatures-
He's wasting his money.
No, well, this was before but just the devil type creatures and stuff.
Oh,
There have been,
right.
I try to clean them out, but there have been a couple of instances of like Shuakin,
Like some of those mythic
recently,
legions.
and
You're
just
a good
kind of
son-in-law.
looking
I
at
would not have
that,
done
like,
that. Yeah.
So I try to think to plan ahead, but this last trip not so much. And I clocked that she was just like, "What is that? And why do I have to?" And she has to. See
I'm
them
a
in
Satan
the
worshiper. I'm
So
sorry. I didn't tell you.
The satanic panic continues.
Yeah.
My
I
dad-
played Dungeons and Dragons too, Mom.
My dad asked me once, "What's the end game here?" I shrugged and said, "Keep being a child I am." Oh, nice one.
Ah, that's
All right,
great.
Cool.
That's great.
yeah.
Self
We all made a promise.
healthy thing.
We sang those hallowed words, those hallowed words when we were kids. The Toys R Us jingle. And we just took it to heart.
I want to grow
I
up.
always have the random like maintenance dude, and not to be sexist, but it's always been a dude so far. Come in and like, I'm like, yeah, the air conditioning is, it's downstairs in the basement.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like, come on, follow me.
Like,
you know,
or it's, where's their main water cutoff?
yeah, let's go.
Let's
It's
go.
like I'm taking like a lantern
Yeah.
down, like here we go, right here. And I
It's gonna
just
see the-
I'm very
What
I'm not
other-
antisocial. I just don't ever want to talk to people. And so when they calm down, I'm always like, I don't want to have a conversation. I want to get on with my day. And so I've gotten reactions from like, oh, wow, man, this is a lot of stuff. To like, yeah, okay, just get to the AC unit, dude. It's hot in here.
Mhm.
But there was or like, oh man, what's all this? Or how much is this worth? That's always the big one. Is like, how much is all this worth?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I always just go a lot.
it's priceless to me. I don't know what the
Right.
value is, right? But
I don't
the
collect
best-
for monetary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And like that, a lot of people that I interacted with a few years ago just did not like. My father-in-law does not understand that. He always like, how much is all this? I'm like, I don't know, because it's priceless to me, and I really
Mhm,
enjoy
yeah.
having it and doing stuff with it. But one dude, I paused because he came in and he was like, "This is Cobra Commander. This is Megatron. This is," and he started like naming stuff, and he was like, I watched that like moment turn in his brain where he was like, oh, like your friend was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's like, I had all
I
these.
want
Like,
these.
Yeah.
he was flashing back to his childhood
Yeah.
right in front of me. I was like, I don't know if I should leave or like
Do you want me
be
to-
worried.
No, do not leave. You do not
Yeah,
want to come back
exactly.
with the mop and bucket.
Well, no, my more concern is he's like stuffing all his jackets, like I gotta go,
Yeah.
and like running off with it all, right? So like, but that was one moment where, and again, like I tend to be like, just I don't want to talk to you. Get out of my house. I have stuff to do. But I knew he was. I was like, I should. If I talk to this guy, I'll be here for hours. But
Mhm.
but it was really cool to be able to see him walk away from that. And then he like shook it off and went to his job. And there was one last glance, and then he just like
And then he
walked
walked-
away. Yeah,
You know, he went home and was like, "You should have seen this house
Yeah,
I
and
was
he
in
probably
today."
went on
totally.
eBay
Yeah.
and
He
like
didn't
yeah.
even make it home. He made it into his van
Yeah,
and
was, like,
started
texting his
hitting
friend.
Google like,
Yeah.
where can I buy this?
Yeah, and it
You
was
know?
right before the COVID time period, which I think everyone dove into like nostalgia, started buying. It was right
Yeah, he's probably a
before
current
then.
collector.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So he probably, he's probably got a channel and everything. So like,
That's
hilarious.
hilarious.
You know, that's what did it for me, right? I was not an active collector because I've restarted collecting multiple times throughout my
Okay.
adult life. And this going into like right before lockdown, like right around that
Mhm.
first Christmas, and Masters of the Universe had come back out, like with Origins. That's what got me back into this. And now here I am sitting here with Mythic Legions. I'm surrounded by Ghostbusters. I got Delta 17 on my desk. I've got, a handful of GI Joes. And I think that's what really brought it out. Now, I know we're talking normie stories, bringing them into the collection room, but
Mhm.
along with COVID also became the norm of really working remotely from home.
Yeah.
And that's always the interesting one when new people on my team at work
To see
get
you're
to see
behind you.
me. Yeah, they, because this same image is what they see
And they're like,
when
"Is
I'm
that Castle
talking to them.
Grayskull?" And you're like,
They were like,
"Don't talk about
yeah.
that. This is a very serious meeting right now."
Well, one of the other, the training manager when I started, he is also a toy collector.
Oh, okay.
He does Megazords, Transformers, and
I've never met anybody in my professional life that actually, does this.
Well,
Oh yeah.
we knew each other from back in GameStop days, so it was kind
Okay.
of natural. And then, as he was working for the hospital that I work at, he was the guy who was doing the training. So it was completely normal and fine for me and him to just randomly start talking about toys. But then
Mhm.
other people in the meeting are like looking, and I'm like, it's a mystery machine,
Yeah.
it's Castle Grayskull.
Mhm.
And they're all just like, why do you have so many toys behind you?
Because I love toys.
And then it's like, plug my channel. Watch this on Saturday nights.
We should have just both peed at the same time, let the guests run the show. We've had
Yeah,
good
just
success
walk
with-
away. Oh, we both need to leave.
Yeah. Also, the weird meta
That was an
moment.
Oz
I
move,
was
by the way.
only in the next
Total
room, and all I could hear. So here, there's music, and I hear all the whole conversation in chat. In the next room, all I hear is
Uh-huh. Mhm.
mhm. And I was like, "This is really weird. Like, what a weird meta." Anyway, sorry, Rick. What?
Oh, I was just gonna say with the you were saying that you haven't really met anybody else in your professional life. There's a lot of teachers.
I bet, yeah, I
Particularly
bet there
now,
is.
as we're at this
Yeah.
age,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Like nerddom, like it coincides with
seems
the
like a
people who are
natural
My
environment.
kids have
30,
Star Wars
40,
Day.
50
Yeah,
years.
They have Star Wars Day at their schools. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like when I came to the school that I'm currently at, I was meeting my teaching team. You kind of like, I'm a social studies teacher. I pair up with an English teacher. He just happened to host the meeting at his house. This is during the summer.
Mhm.
And I walk into this guy's house and I was like, "Oh, cool. You've got the roller coaster Lego set." And he's like, "Yeah, really into that." And I was like, Oh, you got this. And I started naming this stuff. And he's like, "Oh, are you into Lego?" And I lift up my shirt because I had a sweatshirt on. And it was a shirt that I had designed and sold a while back for Lego stuff. And he's like, "That's rad." It's like, "Yeah, I made this." And it's like, "Okay, I got to show you something." Takes me downstairs. And I have yet to be in someone else's home.
This is already
Who, like-
taking a weird turn.
Well, no, who's
Even in
it
that
was
moment, you're like,
amazing.
"What the
Have you
show
seen the
me?"
Lego movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
The
He has a
crackle.
town in his garage.
Nice.
Ah,
Yeah,
awesome.
And
there
then
you go.
down to the left, he has this whole little building area. And I was like, wow, like I that was the first time I'd met someone whose collection was like almost embarrassingly as large.
And when I
as
was a
mine
kid,
is.
a kid up the street from me had that kind of like two giant tables and like
Yeah.
a table, kind of a U shape. So, and he had this blue carpet. So underneath, he had islands and the pirate ships and all this stuff. And
It's
it was
weird
incredible.
turning to see you talk as though looking here. It's weird.
Yeah, the whole episode I've been doing this.
Yeah. Oh, I look at Joe on the screen here. It's right here. Sorry, Brick. That's
No, just
Yeah,
it's
it's really
a
cool.
trip. And there's like other folks that are there. Like there's another dude who I know is hardcore comic book collecting. Other guys really into video games. And
Comic books,
I
think,
just
is
think
easier
it's
to
Mhm.
find.
one, we're teachers. I
Yeah.
think there's
Yeah.
there's an intention to kind of be a little bit more young presenting, I think, and
Mm.
and,
Oh,
and
sure.
bring ourselves
Interesting.
into the classroom. But
Mhm.
also, I think as I moved through life, I was doing creative work before, and that's a little bit different. Like everybody had figures, like designers had figures, and programmers
Yeah.
had stuff all over their desks. So
Yeah.
I think I just kind of like went into teaching. I was like I just bring toys. Like that's kind of just
That's
the thing.
interesting. Huh.
So
Before we go on, let me get to the chat here because they've dropped a few comments here. So here we go. Did we see this one? My dad asked me once, what's the end game here? Shrug. Yeah, we did do that one, didn't we? Okay.
Yep.
Sorry. It was still worth going back to. Oh, here we go. Lord of Thing. who has insomnia. My family also used to make fun of me. Now even my in-laws collect cool junk as greebles for my worlds. Oh, that's really
Right.
cool. You converted them, man. I had
That's the idea.
I had a lesson with my son today to be like, stand up for what you want. Don't buckle to, like, you will have more regrets later on not doing what you love because you're afraid of people saying what you do. Like,
That's right.
Agreed.
I blame Oz for my collecting. Oh man.
Those who don't know, Carol is my sister, and she is my older sister, and she collected unicorns long before I started collecting any figures. So I don't want to hear that crap. But you can blame me for your modern collection. I'll take that.
Bjorn says, I've gotten mostly positive reactions from our family. That's awesome. Bjorn, I also know you just turned 30, so or turned 30 recently, so that's awesome. My son is 18. When he brings his friends over, they're jealous of my collection. That's awesome. Last maintenance guy we had in the house, I ended up doing a trade with.
Nice.
No way. That's awesome. Now, wait, did you trade him for the maintenance work he was doing? Or did you?
I'll give you
like,
these
was it a
3
barter?
stormtroopers if you fix this heat unit. Yeah, that's perfect.
Then he came back at you with those 3 stormtroopers aren't worth nearly as much as. Sorry, the exaggerated comic book guy.
I've seen so many negative fans this week from the Star Wars reveals. I'm just like, guys, like, man.
There's been all kinds.
It's fans. It's just fans. Yeah, I understand. Brick Soemthing. My conservative religious parents don't understand my skull and skeleton figures. Okay. Yep. Stanley's Toy Channel. Hey, what's up, buddy? Thanks for jumping in, man. I got to that one really late. When we built our house, the blueprint said Lego room, and it was ever worker.
It was actually built on a Lego. Just, he leaned against the railing, snapped right away.
We need clarity. Did you want us to build the room from Legos, or
Yeah,
are you
exactly.
putting Legos in the room?
Sir, we have many questions. My lady is supportive. She's my first critique when making new stuff. Oh, okay, that's awesome. Also, congrats on your recent sub accomplishment there, Fat Red Foo. I got that name this time. It's such tiny
Fat
font.
Red Foo.
That's why I had problems with
Fat Red Foo. It's right there.
That's fat. I know it's Fox though. My collection
That's
is
as
for my wife and
hyperdilic.
kids to sell when I kick. Hey, here's the sad thing, and this is maybe a dark thought. It's going to be down to like the last 2 of us that have the toy collections, and nobody else cares beyond that. Like that's it. Like Bjorn, I think, is the youngest, so he's going to inherit tons.
Just a mountain, just backing up a dump truck to his house. What is all this plastic? It's not going in a landfill.
I started collecting again as an adult around 20 years ago, and it ramped up even more during lockdown. Yeah, I think that was a big thing.
I think a lot of people did, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then last one here, I had the WWE arena scale for W figures. My son, the entrance, the rant, backdrop, cheers, full ring announcements. I showed it off. Oh, cool, nice. Oh, and then pirates, you're never late as long as you're here. We love you. It doesn't matter. It's great to have you.
It's one of those split screens.
Yeah. My dad loves when I get new stuff. That's awesome too. My dad still has. So here's the thing that's funny too, and we'll get back to other encounter stories here. My dad has always been just like, oh, it's toys. What are you doing these toys? These toys, right? So Joe's experienced this like us growing up, like, these toys. What are you doing? But Joe pointed out in this glass curio cabinet downstairs.
Are you what? Dominic's father's home is filled with shelves and curio cabinets of random weaponry or like awards from World War II, or like lots of it's military based, but there is like Russian nesting dolls, and there's like all kinds of stuff. And I'm just like, you do the same thing, just with wildly less practical things.
One case of it is all just dolls. And Joe was like, those are dolls.
Those are dolls.
Those are actual dollies you're collecting. He was like, oh, it's different. I'm like, actually, it's worse.
It's not different.
So I was going to say that earlier. If you think back to people who had like plates or
plates,
spoons. That's how they articulated its other collection. Stamps, right?
Really, shot glasses, right?
Right,
like in your early 20s, like everybody's got like the
knickknacks.
What are the something moments, precious moments? I've seen people.
Yes. Like, thank you. Yes,
in
thank
the
you.
70s, those dolls with the big old eyes, and they're like, there were all sorts of things. And it's interesting how because maybe
you can use them.
toys.
3,000.
You can start a band.
Yeah.
I don't remember who we ended on. Whose turn is it to talk about an
Oz, you got
anecdote?
something?
Yeah.
Other strange encounters. Well, the
Yeah.
strange encounters of the fourth kind. So this was back in like my second big wave of collecting, and I was renting out a basement from my buddy. So I had like my dresser. They were getting rid of a china cabinet. So I took the top of the china cabinet and put it on top of the dresser. So I had like these freestanding shelves. And on the middle row, I had my Jedi versus Sith battle going on, where all the Sith were on one side and all the Jedi. Because this was during the Legacy time period where there was a lot of different ones. And
this is before the rule of two, but yes.
Oh, yes, much before the rule of two, although Darth Bane was in that cabinet. Not so much the toy collection, but the shelf above that was my skull and bone collection, where I have all kinds of different skulls, bones, teeth, and everything else. Quite a bit of it.
I thought it was memorabilia from your time in the secret society.
Well, I don't talk about that. That stayed
we don't
in
talk about
that. That stayed in the safe.
Yeah, we said that off screen behind camera. That's
sorry.
Is this loud?
It's in
Very.
But yeah, so girl I was dating at the time comes over for the first time, get her down in the basement. She had no problems with the toys, and she saw the top shelf with the skulls and bones, and she was like, well, what's that? And I was like, that one's a cow, that one's a monkey, that one. She like, yeah, we didn't talk so much after that, but you know, I mean, I could understand that reaction a little bit more from bones and skulls, I suppose, than but you know, it was like kind of cool that she didn't freak out about the action figures and go, oh my god, what did I walk into? Because I also not only had like that shelf over on another like and at the top I had my Sigma 6 Joes, because those had come out a couple years prior.
Oh, what an
those are awesome.
I hated that, and then looking back, I was like, that was stupid.
I really
It was
enjoyed
great.
it. Like they brought the whole Foot Locker packaging back, and then you could put all the accessories in it. That was pretty nice. It was very.
The only thing it wasn't that I didn't appreciate those. It was just that they were like so out of scale from regular GI Joes, and then also
at the time, right?
They weren't 6-inch either. I couldn't make them.
No, they were a
weird scale.
Weird, yeah. But they were so cool and like artistic.
They were fun. They were very toyetic, right?
Most
like
people
they had a lot of
something. Shoes, purses, records, it's all the same.
Yeah,
it really is.
Nesting dolls,
100%.
plates, coins, stamps. Yeah. So I think
it's totally like it shows more about, I think, other people's sort of like weird hangups when they're like, what are these action figures?
I will say though, there's a difference between like they don't play with their plates, whereas I'm like, I would be playing with the plates and be like, so like
this plate fights this plate because they're enemies.
My wife appreciates the fact that I build a play set, I paint stuff, I make cut. Like she likes the artistic stuff. Whenever she sees any of this stuff in channels or IG, she's like, that's really artistic. Oh, look at the art. She appreciates like people putting talent into customs, right? So
agreed. Yeah.
So that was my last thing to bring up real quick was just our wives. Like for instance, I mean, I've been married for 11 years. So my wife, when she first came over, I was like living at a friend's house, but I had 2 rooms sort of with a bathroom in between, kind of that Jack and Jill kind of thing. So one was kind of like my living room and the other one was my bedroom.
No bones.
And it was like, I didn't have a ton out, but I had comics and toys in that room. And she came over and was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, and just sat down and we watched the movie. And I was like, she didn't react positively, but she didn't react negatively at all, which is it's a good sign.
Hey, Skip and Pete, can we connect? Can we do something together? Because I feel like you chasing these toys, it's really cool, and let's do something. You know what I mean? Let's do something. Yeah. So,
but it was just when I met Lauren, I feel like it was just a weird time because it was still very hidden from everybody, for me at least, and I was just like. There was enough DCU classics on that shelf where I had like so many teams built out that I was just like, this isn't a small amount, but if she opens that closet, I'm not sure she wouldn't be shocked at the amount of GI Joes in there, you know.
Also, can I plug the chat?
Sure.
Thank you for everyone who joined into this. I know we're almost at an hour. That's really late to say thanks for people.
No.
But I have to say,
it's never too late, Tom.
Again. I don't think we've ever experienced, hey, what's up? It's Thanos chat. Man, people are still jumping in here. A negative anything going in the chat, any drama, any nonsense like that, all positive people, positive channels.
We have
like,
an
all
awesome
this stuff
chat.
too. Yeah. So like, and you two are ones also that I'm like, oh yeah, they're positive. They don't get into drama. They're like, like, and by positive, I don't mean that everything is optimistic, but I mean that as it's more professional, it's more mature, right? It's not this, like, we were just talking about other stuff that we saw. We're like, stay away from that. That sounds like just trouble, or like, there's no reason to get in that nonsense. But like, I appreciate everyone who jumps in here, and I appreciate your attitudes and what you bring to this show as well too, because like, you feed us and we feed you. It's kind of a back and forth. So I really appreciate it, and our guests too. So I really appreciate that. So
Definitely.
Also, I think I am drunk. All right.
Well, that's interesting.
What's
Dom can't make it for the rest of the show.
Earlier you brought up
This is why he has you there tonight.
function?
Yeah, probably why he's drunk.
Adam, I agree, dude. Adam is a really
Definitely.
I mean, Adam's okay.
Okay, so go ahead, Brick. You're dying.
No, I was just gonna say you brought up Skybottom earlier, and I love that kind of thing. Like when I think about the folks who have just like full on stations and stuff, and you walked in the room and really like built a world from like floor to ceiling.
Yeah.
That's where I want to see someone walk into a quote unquote normie walk into one of those.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
in my last house. So I built the ship. And it wasn't quite where it's at.
I know you've
now,
got
but it was in the garage then. This is the
it was
first
an expansion of the flag.
Yeah, that's what it was. We had the flag on top of it, and we had to repair the garage door. I was like, oh god, I'm so antisocial, and I'm just like, no.
It's not even like ashamed. It's just I don't want to explain this.
I don't want to feel like it. Exactly.
I just don't feel like it.
Because people be like, hey, who's this guy? I'm like, that's USS flag. It's this. Fix my door. Get out of my house. I have stuff to do. It's a me problem. I completely accept that, right? Like, I'm a jerk. So, but anyways, yeah. So the guy came in and the garage door was broken. So I had to manually push it up. And as soon as I pushed it up, I was like, here it comes. And he looks at me, he's like, what is this? And I was like, yeah, it's I made this. He's like, you made this? And I actually appreciated it. At first I was like, where's this going? Right? And he's like, wait, you cut all this stuff. I'm like, yes, I cut it up. It's made of wood. I sanded it.
Yes, I sanded it.
Yeah, I was like, let's get.
I added all the stickers.
But he honestly was like, actually appreciative, like, dude. And he squatted down. He's like, there's rooms, and like he like was actually shocked and like appreciative of this. I'm like, man, that's awesome. So like I like, and again, I like relaxed my like anxiety of like get the stranger out of my house. It's like, yeah, so I spent this much time doing this. He's like, yeah, this must have taken forever, man. This is awesome. By the way, the garage door cost you $500. I'm like,
oh, by the way, here's this bill.
Yeah.
I thought of an old fashioned one. The people that love trains. That's very similar to what we do. In a way.
Oh, so much. Toys are
old school. Like
trains are just toys. Like period.
Yeah.
Model train sets, total toys. Because I love playing with those.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And they get down, like they cosplay while they play. Like,
oh yeah, they have like the engineer hat and everything.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing an army uniform when I'm running around with my G.I. Joes.
Yeah, I do.
I totally rip off my shirt every time I'm playing with my legions, and I'm all like barbarian.
And if you did, I no shame to you.
I wouldn't care.
We can't be friends, but no shame.
I do have He-Man fur pet.
You have.
I put on my little blonde bob cut wig.
All right, we have got to get to what you got. I hate that we're cutting this.
I mean, this could go on all night. We could talk about this all night.
When the guy came to fix a dryer, he wanted to tell me how much he'd bought a bunch of Power of the Force 2 figures that were probably worth a lot of money now. Sorry, that's really funny that all these speculative people who kept all this Power of the Force on cards. I'm like, dude, those are worth like $2. So you can give them to me, and I'm going to cut them up for fodder. My exterminator has given me toys before. That wins.
That's
Bjorn.
Great.
Yeah,
Bjorn wins.
Great.
That's the winner.
Came, did work, and gave you toys.
Bjorn wins toys.
Yeah. My oldest used to compare me to the dad from Diary of a Wimpy Kid because he had to train stuff. Oh, okay. Yep.
Hey, there you go.
And Jason Jensen. Every time I think of toys, I think of Jason Jensen because he's in our age
trains,
group.
but yes.
But yeah, trains. Yeah. I read it, but in my head out loud for my mouth hole. Mm-hmm. People know about my Insta, and now I get them asking, can I please have a look at your toy? Oh, that's
awesome.
Really good. Yeah,
that's cool.
And my mailman comes in ever so often to see Why is your mailman coming in your house?
Because every box says BBTS on it.
Yeah, so he's like, "What's
That's true. He realizes he knows.
I
that
have to
fucking
imagine that my mail person's like, what is this BBTS and
We-
why
Yeah.
are there so many
We had the
boxes?
coolest mailman when we were in Kansas. He was huge. He was like jacked, and he had this shaved head. And like he got out of the mail truck, and the mail truck he bounced back up, and I was like, "Oh my
Hey,
god!"
the guy.
Yeah, but he was like, "Hey man,
Jack
I just
Reacher.
want to let you know, like this went down 2 houses down, but I got it for you." And blah blah blah. I was like, "This is the coolest guy ever." So that is the mailman that I definitely would
All right.
let in my toy collection.
That's
So
cool, man.
I totally get it. So all right, we gotta do what you got. So we gotta do pickups. So
What do you got over there, Don?
Oz, no, not me. Oz, what do you
Oz,
see the pickups?
what do you got over there?
That's awesome.
I got
Thanos.
over here?
That's fantastic, by the way.
I've got the whole new wave of the Frozen Empire Ghostbusters.
Oh, fun.
The
Okay.
Paul Rudd that does not look like Paul Rudd.
I'm so
It looks
So-
exactly like him. I mean, I
Right?
thought spitting image.
The Ectotech ghosts that are all stretchy and weird.
Cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Those are so fun. I want
These-
to. Yeah, I want to.
Those are toys being toys, right?
Yeah,
like
they
those
really are. The
toys, yeah.
Ghostbusters-
Straight back to toys.
Yeah, they're a really good example of the Ghostbusters just crush it on the toy level.
Mhm.
You know?
I agree.
Like this one's terrifying in so many different ways.
That's awesome.
And then they gave it like little baby arms and
I
feet.
think it's
like
very
these-
gross, and I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. Oh man, it's
I
so
love
good.
your
So
finger movement. It
Yeah,
brings
you're-
to life too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like they got that little like boglin feel to it, so I'm loving
Mhm.
that. Managed to grab a bunch of the
Boglins.
Ecto
Yeah, yeah,
Minis.
yeah. Okay.
Managed to grab these guys. So
Okay.
cheekage included.
Look at that. Dude.
Goodness.
Totally.
He needs a
Totally
diaper.
Doesn't stop. He squats, man.
Yeah. That's cool.
A woman I am just friends with. Okay. I told her about the world I'm building. I said, I know some people think it's dumb, but I'm going for it. It's me and it's fun. She surprised me by saying, I don't think it's dumb. You're passionate about something. Yes, that's the big thing. You're passionate and it's important to you. That's
Mhm.
what I keep to my
Yeah.
sons. Like, my son also is huge into animal skulls. I'm like, you love this? Do not stop doing what you love. Like, that's the biggest thing.
Don't murder animals for new skulls.
No. Yeah.
No. There's
And
plenty
I
of
would
them
argue,
out
man,
there that
some
you
of
can just find.
All of that stuff is like art. Like folks are just, you know,
Yes.
I feel like if they were born in a different era, they would be held up as like these masters of their craft.
Yeah,
But,
Right?
you know,
Yeah.
but we're just
Oh, so
toys,
deep
I think,
this
is how
guy.
it's sort of seen. So
Mhm.
But to us, in a lot of ways, these are works of art,
Yeah.
right? Like for
Yeah,
us, we were
no.
just commenting about how like these Ghostbuster toys are like toys, but there's an art form
Yeah.
to that.
yeah,
The high sculpting and amazing detail of Mythic Legions, like it's art. These were professional sculptors,
Oh, for sure.
My
Yeah.
wife
That
can
got into
appreciate
toy
that, too.
making.
Yep.
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
Brick, what you got? Any pickups?
yeah. So a lot of it is just I've been backlogged, but that has nothing to do with toys. No, so I've been unboxing stuff like this. I got
Hey,
last
what's
month
up,
on
what's up,
sale.
buddy?
Oh, let me
Speaking
see.
of Legions, what's up, Trevor?
That's right.
I got myself a
look
Hammond
at that.
Collection Carnotaurus.
Oh, I love that thing.
And I've been hanging out with him. I showed earlier the Masterverse. Like this has been sitting in a closet for the longest time. This is the
Okay.
motion picture, and I popped off.
I was
the
gonna
head
say it's
plate.
not the head, right?
that head.
what head
Is,
is that?
woo! The original head is not cute.
Not
This is
cute
another one
interesting.
that I've had for about I think 2.5 weeks that I finally unboxed this weekend.
see.
Sligor,
Oh,
Cosmic
awesome. Yeah.
Legions,
Oh, I love that figure.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, the Cosmic Legions, man, they're awesome. I literally only have one, and I'm like, I love it.
Oh, which one?
I don't know any.
No
of the
names. You
The-
can describe
yeah.
it. You can be like Green Dude or
The Boba Fett poncho girl, the blue girl.
yes,
Oh,
Zirian
yeah.
Spire. And
That's
I'm
it,
such a
yes.
nerd for even knowing that. But yes.
Yeah, she's super cool. I'll cherry pick female characters to add into my toys to
yeah.
give my daughter more stuff to pick from when we're playing. So like, she was a
That's
no-brainer for me.
awesome.
Yeah. This I just unboxed yesterday with Allison.
Oh, okay.
Who was in the chat.
Sectors.
We both had won these from Toy Anxiety, and it came in.
Nice.
Was it just yesterday or 2 days ago? And so we
Sectors.
unboxed some Sectars, which is cool. I was a big Sectars kid as a fan. It's definitely like super, I guess, high. I don't know, super true to the original toy line, like almost
Yeah,
same
I
height
agree.
and stuff.
Yeah.
They pose a little bit more. And then I've got a couple weird things. This just
Did you show a
came
dinosaur?
yesterday.
Did you show a
did.
dinosaur?
It did.
Famine, did you see the dinosaurs? Okay, go ahead, Brick.
Dinosaurs? This just came yesterday.
Love
This is
dinosaurs.
a
Ankylosaurs.
custom that I'd ordered from India about a long time ago.
What is this?
This is
Avatar?
built on a He-Man dyed
Yeah.
blue.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And it is Lord Shiva. And so I don't know. It's wild. I just got it yesterday, unboxed it, and shot it for one of my shorts. Just some cool stuff. My mother and mom
I
are
have
happy
been
about that
really
one.
enjoying
That's okay.
your shorts, by the way, buddy. Those are really good.
Thank
I try
you.
to yeah.
Yeah, they're fun to do too. And then the last one I'll show you. This just came in today. So yeah, I can do this. I won't dox myself, but see this number? That's my classroom number. So I have stuff
Has
delivered
nothing to
there.
do where he's actually located.
And
Now we know.
oftentimes
Now we
people
know.
will be like, because
You can
sometimes
narrow
they
it
say
down.
Big
You can
Bad
narrow
Toy
it
Store, and
to
they're
the
like,
ground.
oh, another one of these. But this came in. Fanigan Collectibles, who does these sort of custom Micronauts.
Oh,
He's working on
nice.
O-rings.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And I have a 6-inch bug, if you're familiar with the old Micronauts Marvel
Oh,
comic
very
book,
cool.
Yeah.
that he sent me an extra head because the one he'd sent me last month. Anyway,
Eldor, welcome, Eldor.
it's actually that's been a lot lately. That's not usual, but finally had some time to open some stuff up.
Aaron, thanks for being a member for 5 months, buddy. Really appreciate it. Oh, Macon Hicks knows one of my favorite makers. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I love making Hicks stuff, man. His stuff's amazing.
Right? He makes that stuff out of nothing, just garbage. And you would never know once it's complete. It's really cool. If
Super
you don't already
inspiring.
follow him, go check his stuff out on Instagram. Macon Hicks 6. Here's his handle again here.
True artists, I'm telling you.
Right?
Joe, you got some what you got, sis?
I got a couple of things.
You got a couple of things over there?
I got.
Ooh.
Nice.
I just picked this up today.
Really
I get.
good. I was there.
I get the origin stuff for my son, so it's not really for me, but it's really for me.
Yep.
But because he's too young to know what I'm handing him. Here, play with this. I don't know.
It's totally my kids' collection behind me. You know what I'm
How
saying?
old?
Yeah.
No, but I specifically buy origins for him to play with, and I
Yeah.
don't worry about where all the parts go,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
How old is he?
Yeah, like I get most of the Masterverse stuff for me and other stuff. But yeah, I was like, I love Teenage Ninja Turtles. I love Trapjaw. This is a no-brainer for me. So I grabbed those one. I got this brand new Megatron here.
Loading up
So
on
did he
clearance.
like attack Crystal?
I'm kidding. That's not a brand new Megatron. Get out of here. This is a brand new Megatron.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Look at that guy.
So this is the 3-0 Megatron just came in.
Damn.
And
Okay.
I wasn't sure I was
Metal
going
was
to get
on
it in
that.
time to get up
Wow.
here, but it came a few days early, and I was like, yes.
Damn.
Yeah, these
That
guys
is
are sick.
Beautiful Megatron.
Ignore that
3-0
Crystal.
is
Focus
great.
on Megatron. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like just so
shiny,
again,
smooth
yeah,
movement. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
like the double jointed elbows. Like you can,
Yeah,
that's
look at that.
incredible.
Oh, that
So
looks so
nuts.
good.
Slow down the movement. Slow down there.
And I
Yeah,
actually like the redesign. I think they did
Yeah,
a good job.
right.
with it.
they did
Yeah.
really cool.
They kind of mezco it up and add a bunch of details that aren't really there, and I enjoy it.
Yeah,
You know,
I like
Right.
the extra. Yeah, go ahead, Oz.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, Transformers, the modern versions of these figures have come such a long way
Mhm.
Yes,
from what it
Agreed.
was when we grew up, right? Like, I still think back to the days of the original Megatron, like the original Shockwave. You know, those are like two of my
Yes,
favorite
yeah.
examples of it was really cool they could transform, but once you transformed them, there was a lot of times you were kind of worried about really playing with them after that because they
Yes.
just kind of seemed fragile, like they were going
Or
to
they
break.
looked
Like,
goofy. They had like little
Right?
peg arms that stuck out. Yeah.
yeah, like Optimus was good, right? But like so many of the
Mm-hmm.
other ones, it was just kind of like, I don't know about these. But like the new modern, you know, molds and stuff for everything, the engineering behind the modern
Yeah,
Transformers,
absolutely.
just
yeah,
next
it's
level.
really incredible. And 3-0 is crushing it out, and they're not
Yeah.
cheap, but they are
No.
like spectacular versions of these characters.
yeah.
Aaron,
I got
we
Hot
talked
Rod
about
kind of-
Poxus at the beginning of this, man.
Yeah.
Like there's three of it. Yeah, we're all waiting for that to hit.
I got Hot Rod before the end of the year, I guess, last year, or
Nice.
actually earlier this month. But
Just
but yeah,
Hot Rod.
just really good figures.
Yeah, not Yellow Park, but 3-0. Yep.
Yeah, these are 3-0 MDLX.
And
they have the
let's
DLX, which is
switch seats. You
12
have to do
inch.
my
I was
toys.
gonna
of the week.
say,
You should
we
just
gotta
do my
we
figures
gotta
for
do
me
something.
while I
Oh,
sit
yeah.
here. Okay.
Why don't you tell me something?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me who you
Why
want?
don't you tell me
look
the
at?
movie you want to see?
Sure.
Also, that's gorgeous. Yeah, they
Oh,
are.
also, Dom got me this Delta 17. figure.
Yeah, so I got a bunch of Delta 17
Hey.
figures. Ken gave me some early access to them. So
Yeah.
Joe has a girl, a young girl. So I was like, hey, here's a female figure. So Delta 17
Yeah.
is fun. The wrist articulation is what really
Just
brings us
drool.
O-rings. So yeah,
Agreed.
they're pretty
Yeah.
neat.
So I
What do
said
you
my
want to show,
Fiona
Dom?
is
Chris Star?
eating Jaguar.
Oh, there you go. Hold on. Yep. So yeah.
All
right. So I got these Marvel Legends here. They're the ones that are front. I did stand up my new Warriors, but I got Vision. I never had a Vision before. This is a good one to have. So great. I got him. Check. Next. Chris Star. I didn't know if I was going to get this. Yeah, I don't know, right? Like, I'm not a huge fan of this from the 80s, but it's a really fun figure. It's just translucent or transparent, and it's pretty cool. But I got these other two figures here because Finn loves Speedball, and I liked
Oh, Lord.
the Knee Warriors from the 90s. So I got Namorita and I got Justice, and I'm pretty sure lying in the background there, which I didn't have the heart to stand them up. Just pretend you see them.
I'm getting there.
I think that's my new Warriors are complete. So I got here. I'll help you out.
I don't
I
even
got-
know who that's a mute. I've know that's a mutant. I don't even know who he is.
So right, like I went back. I was like, this is fake, right? But he was brought in later to the team. So there's Night Thrasher,
Oh, there's more.
Rage,
Yeah.
Just
Love that
Speedball.
figure. Yep.
Come on, you know how I do this, right? So fire. I got these cool effects from, gosh, I don't remember. And then New Warriors is good, and now Finn and he loves playing with Speedball, so now he's got a team. And that's honestly the second reason I got them. The first reason though,
No, you can't. Why are you doing?
is because this gross. Look at this nasty
Void.
worm. Yeah, it's like candy slash. I don't
And
know.
he doesn't have legs.
Yeah, well, I haven't finished the wave. I don't want to get the rest of the figures, to be honest. I'm gonna go buy the parts there, but he's gross and he's really, really cool. So I'm gonna go hunt. Yeah, I broke that.
Why
when
is
I was
his ear
shoving
coming out of his mouth?
Shoving the head. Can of Beams. It wasn't Can of Beams. I can't remember who it is. It was something.
God, he just fell apart.
I'm like completely dranking on it. So yeah, by Mark Bagley. Yes, absolutely. So
Mhm.
Right.
so those are my Marvel Legends pickups that I got here. And then
Oh, there's more. Wow.
yeah, I got a bunch more stuff.
Well, how? What do you want to show?
I got these really cool cloth good capes here. And they're only $3, and I got them on AliExpress. And if you're interested, hit me up.
Ooh.
And it's got one little button here that clasps, and the hood can
Okay.
come down. And I just love the two-tone that I had and like the pre-cut holes in it. And
Yeah, I'm kind of digging that.
they're really neat. $3. Now, I will say the threading on the button, once I clasp it, once I started trying to take that off, I was like, ooh, these are
That's
gonna
coming loose.
yeah, exactly. These are gonna rip,
Well,
right?
it's
So-
AliExpress. So.
but yeah, exactly. But for $3, it's like this, they're not wired in the bottom here, but the hoods are wired. So pretty cool. I
Yeah,
can
those
see
are
the
pretty
links.
cool.
And I got a red one that's somewhere around here too. But
It's got a wire on the side,
oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe
Yeah, it's
just
got wires on the side, just not on the bottom.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't. You
Those
guys
are
should have
good.
talked about my. You know more about.
We'll
which guy-
review your soft goods for you. Let's.
Yes, please,
Yeah,
please.
we can
I'll just
discuss-
model it with my.
Hey, we
gorgeous
can
hands.
discuss your soft goods.
Yeah.
Okay, I am a sucker for a great wired cape, a great
Right.
wired scarf,
Same.
anything. It just
It
adds
is-
so much.
I am
Um,
too.
They don't
Rick.
come in 1/18th. I actually accidentally bought these thinking they're 1/18th. I was like, oh crap. Oh well, I've got some cool Cosmic Legions to put this on.
Honestly, that's why I
Yeah.
love Mesco so much. It's the
Right, yeah,
it's the
yeah.
mix of the cloth goods and the figure, and I'm just like, I love this. Give me more of that.
Yep.
But I also got get this crap out of here. From Timbo Toys. I got this cool garbage can.
Cool garbage.
They're cool garbage cans. which
Are
I've
they,
never
like,
said out loud
spacey?
before.
Yeah,
They're
now
like
you're
kinda
hearing it. You're going,
space-
that's weird.
Yeah, they're
No,
sci-fi
it's awesome.
for your world building sets. He prints these. Like this is flat to go flush against the
So
wall.
it's against the wall,
Uh-huh.
Right. Yeah, and
Okay.
this is two-sided and a little bit of flat edge there too. So really cool. Timbo
The
Toys
red
like
thing is supposed to be what? No.
it's a vending machine. Like you put the
Ah,
little buttons
okay.
there and you get your drink right out of that slot
It's
right there.
basic.
So.
Screams
Yeah,
Fallout
I
Nuka
love
Cola
it.
to me.
Yes, it does. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Oz. Yeah, so really cool. Yep, Timbo does great stuff. I agree. So
Right.
I saw other people like Winsilla did a review for these. Like, man, I've got to get some of those too. So I'm trying to support the indie world building community more with the side projects they're doing. So every month I'm like, hey, what do you have? What do you have? Right. So like, and these are awesome. Like the boys and I just built a very similar Fallout type city recently. So those are going right in there. So really cool. So
Good
yep,
stuff.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, and Steven got like a whole bunch of stuff recently. So yeah, cool. That's pretty much the majority of what I got.
I mean,
there.
that's what you got this
Yeah,
week.
that's what I got.
That's what you got over
Yeah,
there.
all right, cool.
All right, boys.
Guys, we're coming on an hour and 20 minutes here. Brick, you got anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to say? Anything that's just burning on your heart?
No, I've been wanting to do this all night.
Oh wow!
Reason-
Why did you bring the beginning of this show? That's fantastic. What a climax!
But
That's
just
awesome.
That's when we needed to do
Hey,
the.
we saved the fireworks, man.
Oh right. True rock star, man. Going out on top. That's awesome. Oz, anything else you want to plug?
Oz, try to top that, I would say.
I'm just pulling a Garth here. Oh wait, I got it. There we go.
There
That's
you
what
go.
I got.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go.
All right.
Nah, come hang out at the clubhouse Saturday nights, folks. It's always fun, and even if you can't make it at the beginning, we go all night. So
Oh, here we go. Whip Wednesdays with Pirates of the Galaxy and Lord Thing. So they do every
There you
Wednesday.
go.
They do a work in progress, really fun, brand new. Two good guys showing off talent stuff, really fun. So yeah,
love
there you go. Really good show, really good community. Awesome. I feel a win coming on. There may be.
Yeah, we won. We
I
won
think
toys for the
won
week. We won
toys for
toys for
everything
the
we've been
week.
showing off here today, Joe.